Cold Lake is about to boom. Nestled on the shore of Alberta's seventh largest lake, a 3-hour drive northeast of Edmonton and 20 minutes west of the Saskatchewan border, Cold Lake is home to over 15,000 residents. The community of choice for many workers in the nearby oil patch, the city of Cold Lake is also the proud home of Fort Wing, one of Canada's busiest fighter bases. The city and the surrounding area boast beautiful natural settings, complemented by state-of-the-art recreation and sport facilities, urban and rural trail systems, a provincial park and pristine lakes. Cold Lake itself is well known for its world-class sport fishery, pristine water and surrounding habitats which draw hundreds of bird species and an abundance of wildlife to its shores. Cold Lake is a large, 37,300 hectares, cool relatively unproductive lake with a mean depth of 50 m and a maximum depth of 99 m. Approximately 70% of the surface area falls within Alberta, with the remainder in Saskatchewan, creating a unique management situation. The lake supports populations of over 20 species of fish, including lake trout, walleye, northern pike, burbot, and lake whitefish. The city has been home to a Royal Canadian Air Force base for decades. The military says Fort Wing Cold Lake is the busiest fighter base in Canada. People who live in Cold Lake either, for the most part, work at the military base or in oil and gas, but soon, Cold Lake could become a major hub for clean energy as site of one of the largest carbon capture and storage facilities in the world. It has the right geology, Pathways Alliance President Kendall Dilling said. Carbon capture and storage, CCS, relies on the proximity to the right storage and, the area south of Cold Lake, is arguably close to, if not the best, in the world. The Pathways Alliance is made up of Canada's 6 largest oil sands producers, Canadian Natural Resources Limited, Cenovus Energy Incorporated, ConocoPhillips Canada, Imperial Oil Limited, MEG Energy Corporation, and Suncor Energy Inc. The CCS project is the cornerstone of its plan to get to net zero by 2050. The Pathways Alliance intends to bring carbon dioxide emissions from each oil sands operation down a 400-kilometer pipeline to be built from the Fort McMurray area to south of Cold Lake. This is a big project, $16.5 billion, said Dilling. With a target to begin capturing and storing carbon by 2030, Dilling says it has hundreds of people working on-site to keep the project on track, but it will still needs regulatory approval and hopes to secure public funds in the form of tax credits and subsidies before the carbon can start flowing in the ground. Alberta is the owner and the regulator of the resource and clearly needs to be at the table. The mayor of Cold Lake is anxiously awaiting the results of the May 29 vote as well. The community of around 16,000 people is expecting to see major growth in the coming years because CFB Cold Lake is undergoing a multi-billion-dollar upgrade as well. When you look at the province, where the growth areas are going to be, I think this area is going to be a significant growth area for sure, said Copeland. The construction at Fort Wing Cold Lake is in preparation for Canada's new fighter jet fleet. In January of this year, the government announced the purchase of F-35s, said Colonel David Turin, Canadian Forces Base Cold Lake commander. The first aircraft are set to be delivered in 2026, officials said, and the full fleet is expected to reach operational capability between 2032 and 2034. The Lockheed Martin F-35 fleet will replace Canada's aging McDonnell Douglas CF-188 Hornet, commonly called the CF-18, which have been in use since 1982. Much of the Air Force Base in Cold Lake is even older, dating back to 1954. The supporting structure of the base is fairly old and in need of an update, but the fighter project for the F-35 is going to deliver the hangar facilities and those direct infrastructure buildings that are going to support the aircraft itself, Turin said. Construction is expected to take 4 years, said Chris Lane, Senior Vice President of Elliston Construction Services, the company overseeing the Air Force Base upgrade. The dueling construction projects are expected to heat up the local housing market in the coming years.